we gave the Secretary of Public Welfare this Act 22 authority. We gave it to him last year as part of the budget. And what it did allowed him to make changes to regulations like FMS on his own without going through this IRC process, which is the Independent Regulatory Review Commission. When we passed it, I mean, the idea was, we want to cut back on waste, fraud, and abuse and all these different welfare programs. I mean, that the IRC process took such a long time that the Secretary thought he could find all this waste, fraud, and abuse. He wanted the ability to do something about it right away without having to go through the IRC process. What I've heard on this FMS issue, especially I've heard on the hearing that I've had with people with physical disabilities, that I guess in his thing to go after waste, fraud, and abuse, it seems to me that we are cutting good programs, and more importantly, we're not reaching out to these groups and organizations that provide the services and the families that are receiving the services again to get input on the impact of these changes. I really think that we have to take a long, hard look again this June when we're doing the budget. If the Secretary comes back for us to ask for this Act 22 powers again for the next fiscal year, because he only had this Act 22 power for this fiscal year. So he's going to have to come back to us to re-up it. I think we ought to take a long, hard look about whether we want to give him this ability and this power that he has under Act 22. A lot of people complained about IRC, that it took too long, it was too deliberative, it took too long to make these changes. But I'll tell you what, some of these people, IRC looks really, really good right now, because what IRC did, it did give families and providers an opportunity to come in and have input and have hearings at IRC and talk to the board over there or the directors at IRC about what impact these changes should have. So I think we ought to take a long, hard look before we re-up that Act 22.